Hello, and welcome back to Fem Life. If you'd like to support me, please use my affiliate links mentioned below. Every purchase you make will bring me closer to my gender transition. Monday morning, Noah could barely drag himself out of bed. Samantha had made it clear he was to wear his new underwear that day, and every day. To ensure his compliance, she had discarded all his old boy underwear, leaving him with no choice but the Pansy Panties. The bra, however, was a different story. Noah was mortified at the thought of the other kids at school noticing it. He'd become a laughingstock. As if reading his mind, Samantha walked into the room. "Well, don't you look adorable this morning? Pink really suits you. But where's your bra? Here, let me help." In no time, Samantha had Noah fitted with one of his new boy bras. "There we go," she declared with a flourish. "Just imagine, your first day at school in a bra. Isn't it exciting? No need to pretend to be a boy anymore. And you'll have 2 new friends to show off to your classmates." With a smirk, Samantha pinched the edges of Noah's bra. Ignoring her disappointment, Noah quickly threw on the thickest sweatshirt he could find, despite the warm weather. At breakfast, Noah slouched as much as he could, trying to hide his bra from his father. Samantha soon corrected that. "Noah, sit up straight. That's no way for a young lady to sit. If you're going to wear a bra, you'll have to get used to the attention. It's not every day you see a boy with a feminine chest, is it? I'm sure your father and brother will get used to seeing you in your new clothes. I've told your father all about our shopping trip and how happy it made you." Laughing, Biff spat out his oatmeal when he saw Noah's noticeable protrusions, even through the sweatshirt. Noah Sr. just buried himself deeper in the newspaper. As Noah walked to school, he kept his books pressed tightly to his chest, desperately trying to come up with a plan. He knew his life would be over if his classmates found out he was wearing a bra. He had seen how kids treated anyone who was different, and he had been guilty of teasing himself. Despite all the talk about diversity and tolerance, he knew junior high students could be incredibly cruel. The more he thought about it, the angrier he became. It wasn't fair. He wasn't a sissy. Nothing he did to Samantha warranted this. He resolved to take off the bra as soon as he could. He planned to put it back on after school, hoping Samantha wouldn't notice. He relished the thought of outsmarting her. As he entered the school, Noah hurried to the nearest boys' bathroom and into the first stall he found. In no time, he had removed the bra and stashed it in his backpack. Noah sighed with relief, rubbing the marks left by the bra. In homeroom, Noah noticed a few kids eyeing his now more pronounced rear. Kylie hoped his classmates wouldn't be able to pinpoint what was different about him. Aware that Biff would be waiting for him, Kylie hid in the boys' bathroom during lunch. After school, he returned to the bathroom, put his bra back on, and quickly ran home with his books clutched to his chest. Noah felt a surge of triumph as he finally made it home safely. He struck a Marilyn Monroe-like pose as he passed Samantha, who gave him a puzzled look, expecting a bigger reaction. Noah ignored Biff's question about his whereabouts during lunch and went about his day. Emboldened by his previous success, Noah continued his new school routine without issue until disaster struck on Friday morning. During math class, a messenger arrived asking him to come down to the office. Seeing it as a chance to stretch his legs, Noah didn't think twice and headed down the hall. However, his heart skipped a beat when he rounded the corner and saw Samantha waiting for him in the office. "There's my little angel," she announced loudly. "After you left for school, I realized I forgot to give you your goodbye hug." The office staff awed in unison, praising Samantha for coming all the way to school just to give Noah a hug. Noah's face drained of color as Samantha pulled him into a tight embrace, deliberately letting her hand travel up the back of his sweatshirt where his bra should have been. When she finally let go, she stared directly into his eyes, her gaze menacing. "There. I feel better now. Don't you?" Noah, crestfallen, turned to head back to class. "Oh, and make sure to hurry home after school, dear." Mommy has a big surprise for you, Samantha called after him as he left the room. As school ended, Noah trudged home with heavy steps, dreading the punishment Samantha would surely mete out for not wearing his bra. He mentally berated himself for his stupidity. Before he knew it, he found himself cowering in the living room before an enraged Samantha. With her hands on her hips, she let loose her fury. "You little brat! Do you think I'm so clueless that I wouldn't find out? You're going to learn a lesson. If I tell you to wear a bra, you will wear a bra. Got it?" Once she finished her tirade, Samantha shoved Noah past a laughing Biff and into the car. Noah kept silent, too fearful to speak. When they arrived at the Sissy Mister, Noah wasn't surprised. Soon, he was listening as an irate Samantha recounted the day's events to a bemused Ms. Montgomery. When Samantha finished, Ms. Montgomery turned to Noah. "Darling, what were you thinking, disobeying your stepmother? Were you worried about the other kids teasing you if they found out you wear a bra?" "Well, that's just part of it, sissy boy." She laughed. "Now we need to find something special to ensure you remember to follow your stepmother's instructions." "Ah, I know just the thing. Max, could you join us for a moment, please?" As Samantha and Ms. Montgomery chatted and relaxed, Max led Noah away. After about an hour, Ms. Montgomery announced, "Our little girly boy is back." Samantha's face lit up with a wide grin as she saw Max approaching with Noah in tow. Not only was Noah wearing a bra, but he was also carrying a large black patent leather purse draped over his arm. Samantha was reminded of the movie Breakfast at Tiffany's, as the purse seemed straight out of that era. Besides the fake smile on Noah's face, something else caught her attention. He was wearing makeup. "Oh, Mommy, look at my lovely new purse. Max helped me pick it out. And guess what? Max took me to the makeup counter, and they gave me my very own play makeup, so I can be just like the big girls. It's called Barbie Boy makeup. Isn't it divine?" Noah said enthusiastically, aware of the consequences if he didn't. Samantha turned to Ms. Montgomery, who elaborated, "It's a new product line designed for our little girls who aren't quite ready for full makeup yet. The kit includes frosted pink lip gloss, blush, clear mascara, and pressed powder in a charming compact. It's perfect for our sissies just starting with makeup, subtle enough from a distance, but noticeable up close. Oh, and I nearly forgot. There's also a bottle of our signature perfume, Panty Waste. Everything comes in a cute makeup case that our sissy boy can carry in his new purse. It's ideal for beginners to learn how to apply makeup, just like Mommy." Turning to Noah, Ms. Montgomery taunted, "Well, don't you look pretty, Noah? Did the ladies show you how to apply your makeup?" "Yes, ma'am," Noah murmured softly. The loathsome Ms. Montgomery had made him practice repeatedly as Max stood by, laughing. He had felt utterly ridiculous, fiddling with his compact, fixing his lipstick, dabbing on powder, and brushing on blush, which felt entirely unnecessary to him. "You certainly look like a fairy princess," Ms. Montgomery continued with a smirk. "And that purse. Isn't it just precious? Now you have more to show the kids at school than just your bra, don't you? But that sweatshirt just doesn't suit you." She paused, tapping her lips thoughtfully. "It's too butch. Let's find something a bit more fitting, shall we?" Leaving Noah under Max's watchful eye, Ms. Montgomery and Samantha wandered over to a large display of sweaters. Noah could hear their laughter as they held up various garments for inspection, each one seeming more amusing than the last. Eventually, they returned, Samantha's grin wider than ever. "Noah, we found the most darling sweater for you." She held up the garment for Noah to see. Noah's eyes widened as he saw the short-sleeved, soft black Angora sweater. While the crew neck provided some relief, his relief was short-lived when Samantha spun the sweater around to reveal an enormous black satin bow above the keyhole neck closure. Noah's shoulders slumped in defeat as Max roughly removed his sweatshirt. After stripping Noah down to his bra, Samantha dressed him in the new sweater. She fastened the sweater at the back and fluffed the bow with evident delight. "Isn't that sweet?" she exclaimed. As Ms. Montgomery agreed, she led Noah to a mirrored platform. Horrified, Noah saw that the tight sweater accentuated his chest to an exaggerated size. There was no way to hide them. His face flushed, and panic set in as Ms. Montgomery spun him around and handed him a small mirror to see the sweater from behind. Noah was appalled at the sight of the large, feminine bow that taunted his remaining masculinity. Reluctantly, Noah was forced to leave the store, but not before his favorite sneakers were replaced with a pair of black patent leather flats adorned with bows on the pointed toes. In the car, Noah sat in sullen silence while Samantha drove home cheerfully. However, when Samantha pulled into the shopping center parking lot, Noah finally broke his silence. "Samantha, what are you doing?" he stammered, panic evident in his voice. "I'm planning to do a bit of window shopping, and then we'll grab a bite to eat. I've already told the boys they're on their own for now." "But Samantha, I can't be seen like this. People will think I'm some kind of fairy, and someone might recognize me." "Of course, they will. Now grab your purse and come on. Or should I call Max to join us?" Noah's humiliation was complete as he followed Samantha into the mall. He felt every eye on him, a teenage boy clearly wearing a bra, an ultra-feminine sweater, and girls' shoes. His makeup was slightly less obvious, but the large, shiny handbag he carried drew even more attention. The mall buzzed with whispers and taunts. "Oh my gosh! Look at that sissy! What a little perv! If he went to my school, I'd beat him up. Nice purse, fag. Why don't you just wear a dress? Love your look, darling." While Samantha secretly relished the attention Noah was receiving, he was soon reduced to tears, which only drew more stares. Eventually, Samantha guided Noah into a restaurant at the end of the mall. They settled at a table in the center, and Samantha continued to undermine Noah's male pride. "Now, isn't this fun? Much better than sneaking around in the closet. Here, dry your eyes." She handed him a lace handkerchief. As Noah tried to compose himself, a pretty waitress, only a few years older than him, approached the table. "Good evening, ladies," she began, her greeting faltering when she realized Noah's true gender. Noah cringed as Samantha made the waitress recite the specials. Finally, Samantha ordered a large salad for herself and a small cottage cheese plate for Noah. "Noah here will have a small cottage cheese plate. We need to watch his figure." The waitress left with a smirk, and Noah felt helpless as more waitresses came over to get a look at him. Throughout the meal, Noah saw the girls giggling and pointing in his direction. One waitress even thrust out her chest and waved her wrist in Noah's direction, the mockery unmistakable. But Samantha had more in store. After the meal, she turned to Noah. "I'm afraid your makeup has smudged. You need to freshen up." Noah stared at Samantha in disbelief. "You mean here?" "Of course, dearie. If you're going to wear girls' makeup, you need to learn to maintain it like a girl. Now get to it before I get upset." Noah hesitantly brought his purse to his lap and pulled out the pink quilted makeup case. Unsnapping the clasp, he retrieved the compact with trepidation. Opening it, he saw a nervous, girlish reflection. As Samantha watched with amusement, Noah powdered his nose and applied more blush. Just as he was about to open the lipstick tube, the waitress returned with the check. "What pretty lipstick, sir. And I must say, that sweater is just darling. I love how it highlights your bust. And that purse. It's to die for." The waitress lisped and exaggerated her gestures, making it clear she was mocking him. As Samantha and Noah left the restaurant, the waitresses assembled to give a loud, falsetto farewell before breaking into uproarious laughter. In the following weeks, Noah's life underwent a dramatic transformation. Samantha insisted that Noah wear his Barbie boy makeup at all times and carry his new purse whenever he left the house. At home, Noah could see the clear disgust on his father's face. School was a nightmare. Biff quickly spread a tale about Noah being caught dressed up in his stepmother's evening gown and finding materials in Noah's room about becoming a girl. Biff added that when confronted, Noah claimed he could no longer live a lie and was determined to pursue his dream of becoming a girl. Despite their attempts to dissuade him, Noah persisted in wearing his bra, makeup, and purse to school, which only added credibility to Biff's story. The school guidance counselor, a gay man, took Noah aside and assured him of the school's full support for his transition. He even exempted Noah from PE and directed him to use the handicapped bathroom. Weekly sessions were arranged to monitor Noah's progress, which made Noah uncomfortable with the counselor's scrutinizing gaze. In homeroom, Noah's teacher drew attention to his attire in front of the entire class. "But I'm sure it's all just an accident," she mocked. Becky glared at him, clearly distressed that she had ever been interested in him as a potential boyfriend. Noah anticipated coming home to find his closet filled with dresses, but Samantha seemed to revel in Noah's girly boy stage. After a few weeks, Samantha announced that Noah had an appointment at the Sissy Mister. Early one Saturday morning, Noah, accompanied by a beaming Samantha, arrived at the store. When Noah realized they were heading to the salon, he felt a surge of dread. "No, Samantha, please. Don't do this." Laughing, Samantha led Noah to the receptionist's desk. "I believe my daughter, Noah, has an appointment with Hazel." "Of course. Right this way." Noah recognized Hazel from the video, a mannish figure who soon had him draped in a hideous pink smock, seated in Hazel's chair. Looking around, Noah saw he was surrounded by the sights, sounds, and smells of a busy beauty parlor, but with a striking difference: the clients getting their hair cut, styled, colored, teased, sprayed, and curled weren't women, they were boys. The collective sense of embarrassment and humiliation was palpable. The salon was a chaotic mix of desperate pleas and sobs of shame, interspersed with laughter and excited chatter. Each boy was accompanied by one or more female relatives, mothers, sisters, grandmothers, and aunts, who took evident pleasure in marking their boys as sissies with overtly feminine hairstyles. The women eagerly took photos, teased, and mocked their young charges. The boys, especially those there for the first time, appeared to grasp the irreversible nature of their situation, their faces etched with fear and shame. In the chair next to John sat a boy around his age, who briefly met John's gaze with a look of shared misery before quickly looking away in embarrassment. This boy was a more advanced sissy than Noah, dressed in stylish black capris and a sleeveless white top that accentuated his ample chest. On his feet were pointed pumps with 3-inch heels. His hair, styled into a high ponytail held up with a pink ribbon, suggested this was also his first time at the salon. John could easily overhear the conversation between the boy's mother and his young sister, who looked to be around half his age. "Don't forget, Mom, you promised I could pick out Jamesy's new hairstyle," the girl said, hands on her hips and a smirk on her face. Her mother replied, "That's right, dear, but make sure it's something pretty and girly for your big brother." John instinctively disliked the little girl, embodying the stereotypical hateful younger sister. "Don't worry, Mom, I found the perfect style for Jamesy Poo." The girl proudly showed a picture from a Sissy Mister stylebook, featuring a headshot of a boy with his hair curled and piled high in a teased mountain, reminiscent of a 1970s country and western singer. It was both overly feminine and prissy. "Oh, that's perfect," her mother laughed. "You and your friends will have a blast putting curlers in his hair, doing his nails, and playing beauty parlor. He'll look so girlish under that old bonnet hairdryer I found at the garage sale. We'll get lots of makeup for you and your friends to try out on him too. And don't forget to take plenty of pictures for Aunt Maggie. We'll even post them on James's website, I'm a big sissy." The boys' protests were ignored as the two continued planning further humiliations. Samantha, who had been watching the exchange, was thoroughly entertained. She eventually turned to Hazel. "I want Noah to have the adorable hairstyle we discussed, Hazel." Turning to Noah, she added, "And no peeking. I want it to be a delightful surprise." As Samantha left to return to the main part of the store, Hazel wasted no time getting to work. Noah found himself sputtering as Hazel washed his hair. Noah wallowed in self-pity as Hazel applied a foul-smelling paste to his locks. Unable to see what was happening, he distracted himself by observing James's transformation. James's head was soon covered with pink curlers, looking utterly absurd. After a hairnet was added, he was directed to a dryer with a magazine to read. Noah noticed it was the latest issue of the Prissy Sissy, a magazine published by Ms. Montgomery, featuring a hapless teenage boy in panties and a bra surrounded by laughing women holding prissy girls' outfits. Noah could hardly believe the nightmare he was experiencing. Noah winced as Hazel yanked at his hair, meticulously placing curlers in it. Soon, he found himself alongside James under one of the dryers. They exchanged glances of shared misery, which soon turned to concern as two manicurists approached and began their work. After what felt like an eternity under the dryer, during which Noah feared his head might catch fire, he was guided back to his chair. The manicurist had left his toenails and fingernails painted a bright red, a shade more suited for an older woman attending a formal event rather than a young teen. To make matters worse, his nails extended far beyond his fingertips, far longer than any real girl he knew would ever wear. As Noah shuffled back to Hazel's chair, he saw James's hair being teased and sprayed into an enormous, frilly mound of curls. Tears streamed down James's face as the stylist continued to extol the feminine and prissy nature of the new look. Just then, James's mother and sister arrived, each carrying several large bags. Noah noticed with dismay that Samantha was with them, chatting amiably as if they were old friends. James's mother was the first to speak. "Oh, Jamesy! You look absolutely precious. What a perfect, fussy hairstyle. We simply must take you by the football game later to show your former teammates your new look." James's sister pointed and laughed uncontrollably at her transformed brother. Samantha added her approval with a grin. As the women taunted James, Hazel put the finishing touches on Noah's hairstyle and spun his chair around with a flourish. The delight on Samantha and James's mother and sister's faces showed their approval of Hazel's work. Samantha was the first to comment. "Oh, Nohi! You look simply divine." Ms. Montgomery was right, a bouffant bubble is just the perfect look for a stylish little socialite sissy like you. And that bow above your bangs is just adorable. The champagne blonde color is absolutely perfect, now you're as feminine as ever. And those nails, how they feminize your hands. Samantha turned Noah's chair towards the mirror. Noah recoiled in horror at his reflection. He was surrounded by a large, stiff ball of platinum-colored curls, which looked like cotton candy. The little sister's mocking laughter only made things worse. Suddenly, she turned to her mother and exclaimed, "Mommy, I've got a great idea." With a flourish, she whispered her idea into her mother's ear, causing the women to giggle. Finally, Samantha spoke. "Isabel, what a delightful idea. Since he doesn't have any sissy friends, I'm sure he'd just love to attend your slumber party as Jamesy's guest." "How thoughtful of you." Turning to Noah, Samantha commanded, "Thank Isabel for inviting you to her slumber party, Noah." Noah wanted to reach out and wipe the smug grin off the little girl's face, but settled for a subdued thanks instead. Samantha, however, insisted he say it prettily under threat of calling Max. With the girls' delighted laughter echoing in his ears, Samantha grabbed Noah by the arm. "Wait until you see all the pretty things Ms. Montgomery picked out for you to try on." Before long, Noah found himself at James's house, clutching his hated purse and two round, pink suitcases. Samantha assured him they contained everything he needed for his very first slumber party. Noah was dressed in tight white stretch capris and a pink Angora sweater set, the cardigan buttoned only at the top to highlight his chest. James's mother answered the door with a warm hug and a laugh. "Girls, the guest of honor is here." Soon, Noah heard loud giggling approaching. Isabel arrived with a group of young girls, her grin wide. "Nohi, you're late," she scolded, taking his hand with an unsettling familiarity and leading him upstairs. The other girls pushed and prodded him until he lost his patience. "Cut it out!" Isabel spun around, anger flashing in her eyes. "You better behave, or you'll regret it." Now come on. The girls continued to push and prod until Noah stood at the door of what seemed to be a bedroom. Inside, he saw James primping in front of a vanity mirror. You two get acquainted while we finish getting everything ready for the slumber party. With that, Isabel shoved Noah inside and slammed the door behind him. As soon as the door closed, James stopped primping inside. Sorry you got dragged into this, man. It's okay. It's not your fault. I'm Noah, by the way. Used to be James. Now it's whatever they want it to be. Yeah, that little sister of yours is a real brat. Dude, you don't know the half of it. Mom lets her do whatever she wants. Just because I teased her one day about being a dumb girl, my mother and her feminist friends started calling Isabel my superior or some nonsense. Then Aunt Maggie heard about the sissy mister, and before I knew it, I was in panties and a bra and the laughingstock of my school. It just keeps getting worse. Look at this stupid hair, Mom makes me curl it every night. It takes forever, and I haven't had a decent night's sleep in ages. It looks ridiculous. I mean, dressing like a girl is bad enough, but no girl would ever wear this stuff. Noah empathized, feeling a sense of relief at finally finding someone to share his frustrations with. I hear you. My stepmother makes me wear all this stuff too. Look at these clothes. She even has my dad and everyone else believing it's my idea. What a nightmare. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I don't think tonight is going to be much fun for either one of us. Isabel's been salivating over this for weeks. And my mother invited my aunt so she could join in the fun. Well, how bad could it be? I mean, your sister and her friends are just little girls. Oh, you don't understand. Isabel loves it. She's paying me back for everything she thinks I ever did to her. And she knows my mother will back her up. If only my father hadn't left. As if waiting for her cue, Isabel burst in, followed closely by a group of girls, all giggling loudly. Have you two girlies been getting acquainted? I just know you're going to be bestest girlfriends, aren't you? Now let's get you girls ready for the party. Here. Put these on. Isabel handed the boys what appeared to be a heavy tube of black lycra, with a froth of tulle at each end. Noah and James stared dumbly at the garments. What is this? James demanded. Mother and I have been none too happy with your comportment recently, so you and your new friend, Nohe, are going to have a little charm school. Isabel approached Noah and fingered the hem of his sweater. Your mother says you aren't any better. This, she said, pointing to the item in Noah's hand, is a sissy trainer. Ms. Montgomery says that boys hate them, but little girlies like you two will never want to take them off. Isabel smirked up at Noah. Now take your clothes off. Don't be shy. It's just us girls. James instantly started undressing, but Noah stood his ground, refusing to give in to a little twerp like Isabel. Ignoring James's look of warning, Noah declared, I'm not wearing it. Isabel's mouth formed an O of mock surprise as she addressed her friends. My. Noah's a real macho man, isn't he? Whatever will we do? With a quickness that indicated plenty of practice, the girls surrounded Noah and quickly immobilized Noah with his bottom in the air. Noah struggled, but there were simply too many of the little brats. As someone undid the side zipper on his pants, Noah could feel someone's presence behind him. What he couldn't see was Isabel grinning and holding a wicked-looking paddle featuring a perforated, flexible metal surface. James moved to help Noah, but a stern look from Isabel froze him. He knew that he would just make things worse for both of them. James stared at the pink carpet of his bedroom, not wanting to see the impending punishment. Isabel turned her attention to Noah. Silly sissy. Around here, you do what I say. Or you get punished. With that, Isabel gave Noah's bottom a huge blow. Ignoring Noah's yelps of pain, she quickly reduced the young teen boy to a blubbering, quivering mass. Pain mixed with humiliation was a powerful tool, as Isabel knew from many similar experiences with her brother. In no time, Noah and James found themselves stripped down to their panty girdles and bras. The teen boys were mortified as the young girls worked sheer black stockings up their legs and attached them to garter tabs built into the girdles. At the same time, a different set of giggling girls worked the dresses over the boys' heads. The dresses were like none other the boys had ever worn. From just below the knee to their shoulders, the boys were encased in a lycra prison. Moreover, the armholes of the dress weren't at the shoulder where they should be, but at the waist. Although the tool hid it from view, the design painfully pinned the boys' upper arms to their sides, leaving only the forearms and wrists free. Both boys quickly realized that this forced them to carry their forearms and hands in an exaggeratedly feminine fashion. Moreover, the dress wouldn't allow any normal movement from the waist down. Instead, the impossibly tight sheath severely restricted the length of the boys' strides, forcing them to walk with a bottom swishing mince. It did not help matters when the girls forced sharply pointed high-heeled pumps on their feet. "Please, Isabel. It's too tight. It's crushing me. I can't walk in this thing." Isabel ignored their pleas, delighting in the sight of her older brother and his friend dressed in the absurd outfits. She couldn't resist adding dainty gloves and large, lampshade hats to their ensembles. Trussed up in their training dresses, the boys were paraded into the living room, where Isabel soon started a DVD. With much fanfare, the dreaded face of Ms. Montgomery appeared on the screen. Instinctively, the feminized teens recoiled in horror. The boys, like twin mongooses facing a cobra, watched as Ms. Montgomery discussed the importance of sissy behavior. "I know you sissies adore your girly clothes and makeup, but a true sissy is defined by his behavior. With a little help from your moms, aunts, sisters, and teachers, this series of tapes will help you embrace that swishy, effeminate behavior society has forced you to hide. So get ready to sashay out of the closet, girls." The boys cringed as Isabel and her friends giggled. The next segment of the video was deeply unsettling. Ms. Montgomery introduced a boy slightly older than Noah and James, dressed in jeans and a football jersey. Clearly there against his will, the boy was interviewed about his interests. Noah and James envied the boy, who was athletic and well-built. He proudly stated that he was a three-sport athlete and planned a future in the NFL. Ms. Montgomery listened with a bemused smile, then replied, "Now, Kyle, sissies don't play sports, do they? They might muss their hair or break a nail. And your aunt tells me deep down you're a screaming sissy." Noah and James watched as the boy seethed. Just as he began to angrily respond, Max appeared off-screen and restrained him, covering his mouth to silence his protest. Noah and James knew there was nothing remotely feminine about the boy. The next scene showed Ms. Montgomery explaining that Kyle had been following the training tapes, doing the exercises, and using Sissy Mister products for the past month. She then invited Kyle to join her. An older woman, plain and unattractive, walked onto the stage, followed by a blonde girl in a clinging navy wool dress. The dress was nipped in at the waist with a large, pointed bosom. It had three-quarter-length sleeves with white cuffs, a small rounded white collar, and was accessorized with a pearl necklace, white gloves, and a small navy handbag. The girl's heavy makeup and Marilyn Monroe hairstyle, complete with a white 50s-style toque hat, completed the chic, outdated look. Noah and James were baffled until Ms. Montgomery spoke. "Well, Kylie. How delightful to see you. My, don't you look just darling." Noah and James's eyes widened in shock. The pretty, prissy girl could not possibly be the defiant all-American boy from earlier. Unfortunately, their fears were well-founded. After tittering girlishly behind a dainty gloved hand, the boy twirled in archetypical feminine fashion, showing off his ensemble. Lisping in a breathy, girlish voice, Kylie responded, "You're so sweet. Isn't this dress just dreamy? Auntie bought it for me. It's from your boy Ingenue collection. I can't wait for my boyfriend to see me in it. He'll love the way it shows off my figure." While he was talking, Kylie moved his wrists and arms in an exaggerated, girlish fashion. Ms. Montgomery and the boy's aunt looked on smugly. While Kylie removed a compact from his purse and began to primp and preen in its mirror, Ms. Montgomery continued, "Kylie, I must say, your appearance is quite an improvement from the last time we visited. Tell me, have you lost weight? Your figure is to die for. Tell me." "Well, Auntie does keep me on a strict diet. She says that boys like their sissies dainty and delicate. I have to keep my figure as thin as Callista Flockhart. Except up top, of course." Auntie was right. Boys with big bosoms get all the dates. To help me, Auntie has been giving me these shots of medicine Dr. Clark prescribed. She's a good friend of yours, isn't she? She scares me a little. Anyway, the Mr. Tittatine and Petite Pansy shots have just worked wonders. My dress size is smaller than any other girl in my class. They're so jealous. Dr. Clark also gives me these other shots. She calls them always mind mommy shots, but in my case, it's always mind auntie, he giggled girlishly. No matter how much I hate something or don't want to do it, the shots make me follow my auntie's instructions. It doesn't matter if it's humiliating or embarrassing. Like when she makes me be the maid for her and her lady friends. In fact, the medicine makes me even more embarrassed than normal. It's horrible, he giggled nervously, glancing anxiously at his aunt, who rebuked him silently with a stern look. Immediately, the boy fell silent, wondering how his aunt would make him pay for his mistake. As Kyle's aunt led him away, Ms. Montgomery turned her attention back to the viewer. Well, that is certainly a change for the better. Kylie will be so much happier now that he has come to terms with his inner sissy. With a sneer, she addressed the camera, "Now it's your turn." Noah and James wanted to run in terror, but they were effectively immobilized by their training dresses. Just then, James's mother appeared at the door, followed by James's sinister-looking aunt, who was carrying a tray. As Isabel paused the DVD, James's mother addressed them, a wide grin on her face. "Aren't you sissies excited? You're going to learn all about sissy deportment and hairstyling and makeup. This must be a dream come true for you, a couple of pantywaists like you." "And guess what?" she exclaimed, clasping her hands excitedly. "Noah's stepmother and I agreed that you little fairies deserved a special surprise." As James's aunt approached the boys from behind, James's mother continued, "Did Jamesy tell you that his aunt is a registered nurse?" The horrified boys turned to look at James's aunt just in time to see her squirting liquid out of an upturned syringe, a smug, self-satisfied look on her face. "Now which one of you disgusting girlies wants to be first?" Late that night, Noah lay wide awake in the Barbie sleeping bag Isabel had assigned to him. His head was crammed with prickly curlers, and a thick, gooey face cream assaulted his nostrils with its cloying perfume. Noah whimpered softly, replaying the most humiliating night of his life. The echo of the girls' and women's laughter as they administered medications filled his ears. He knew the drugs were meant to feminize him, rendering him powerless to resist. He had hoped it was all a bluff, but when Isabel had ordered him to giggle like a little girlie, his worst fears were confirmed. He felt a dreadful compulsion to comply, much like the urgent need to use the bathroom that he'd held back until he couldn't anymore. Despite his efforts to resist, he finally let out a girlish titter, much to the girls' and women's delighted approval. The drug had worked, he was immediately more embarrassed than he'd ever been. After ensuring James was similarly affected by the always mind mommy drug, the girls restarted the DVD. They instructed the boys to carefully watch and follow Ms. Montgomery's instructions, adding an extra layer of humiliation by making them hold hands during the video. Noah and James were mortified. As the DVD played on, Noah felt as if his brain was absorbing Ms. Montgomery's directives and the examples of the models like a sponge. When Ms. Montgomery explained that sissies must always speak with a high, girlish lisp, Noah knew that if he spoke, his voice would mimic the unfortunate boy in the tape wearing a little girl's party dress. The tape was exhaustive, covering every aspect of sissy deportment: sitting, walking, speaking, carrying a purse, greeting and interacting with other sissies, and manners. The information and humiliation built to a peak until Ms. Montgomery announced the end of Session 1, urging viewers to watch the remaining parts of the series. The girls then made the boys demonstrate what they had learned, laughing hysterically at the sight of the lisping, mincing sissies. Just when Noah thought he couldn't bear any more embarrassment, the girls prepared them for bed, promising more fun for the next day. In the morning, Isabel loudly woke the slumber party attendees, reminding them of the day's activities. Noah immediately felt the effects of the previous night's conditioning. After getting out of the sleeping bag, he minced over to a bureau mirror and admired his frilly baby doll nightie. James soon joined him, wearing an identical nightgown. "Aren't these nighties just the dreamiest? Your auntie was so sweet to give them to us. I just adore all the lace and bows." Noah cringed at how girlish his voice sounded, worse than Isabel and her friends. And what was he saying? He hated the nightgown, it was awful. He felt utterly ridiculous. James responded, "Girl, I know. And the color, I'm just mad about pink." James's voice was just as effeminate as Noah's. "I know. Let's do each other's hair and get dressed. Auntie says she has more pretty things for us to wear," he giggled. Despite his overly enthusiastic demeanor, Noah could see the shame in James's eyes. Although Samantha had been keeping tabs on the slumber party by telephone, she still couldn't believe her eyes when she arrived late in the afternoon to pick Noah up. Noah was seated on the couch, primping with the aid of his compact. He was wearing a pink silk shantan mid-calf sheath. Pink gloves, pumps and handbag completed the ensemble, while a large bow was strategically placed on the front of his teased and lacquered blonde bubble. Noah's Barbie boy makeup had been replaced by the real thing, and it was applied perfectly, although too heavily considering Noah's age and the time of day. Samantha gleefully thought that he looked like he stepped off the cover of Vogue from 1957. When Noah looked up from his primping, he uttered a girlish squeal and minced his way over to Samantha, his hands and wrists fluttering at shoulder height, his purse on his elbow. In an excited girlish lisp, Noah found himself telling Samantha all about the fabulous slumber party and how much fun he had had with his friend Jamesy and all the other girls. "And look at my new dress. Jamesy's auntie gave it to me. She said it's just perfect for a nauseating sissy boy like me. Can we go shopping for some more things? I need some scrumptious little dresses and skirts, and some yummy little sweaters for school. Oh, and some lingerie and lots of makeup. Did Jamesy's mother tell you, I'm going to have my own female chest? I can't wait. I hope they help me to get a hunky boyfriend. The reason I don't have one now is that I'm such a fat cow. I'm on a diet from now on, and I want to take aerobics at your gym." Noah couldn't believe the words coming out of his mouth. The effect of the always mind mommy drug was horrifying. After Samantha was able to control her laughter, she walked up to her sissified stepson and roughly pinched and twisted his ear. Well. Looks like Mr. Big Shot has finally admitted the truth. Oh, I know you hate it. But that's the beauty part. Everyone else will think you're just a ridiculous little panty waist. I can't wait for you to show your father. He'll be so disgusted. Wait until your little chest starts to grow. Ms. Montgomery tells me the growth rate is astounding. She also says the tip development is even more feminine than real girls. I can't wait to dress you for your first date. We'll get your hair done and get you some extra pretty dainties. After all, your date's sure to see them, isn't he? Of course, I'll be the matron of honor at your wedding. You'll make the perfect little sissy trophy wife for some hunky gay man. Maybe one of those leather types, with lots of muscles. I just know you'll make an adorable couple." Leaning down toward Noah's face, she whispered cruelly, "I told you shouldn't have messed with me." Releasing Noah's ear and replacing her scowl with a smile, she continued brightly. "Now, let's stop by the sissy mister for a shopping spree and have dinner at that place in the mall. I know how much you're dying to show the waitresses your new dress."